How do you think about the role of technological advances, especially generative AI, on more traditional industries? Thank you.
Yeah. I made a mistake in calling on 4, but I'll get back to 2 later on. I don't know anything about AI, but I do have. I don't. That doesn't mean I deny its existence or importance or anything of the sort. And last year I said, that we let a genie out of the bottle when we developed nuclear weapons, and that genie has been doing some terrible things lately. And the power of that genie scares the hell out of me. And on the other hand, I don't know any way to get the genie back in the bottle. And AI is somewhat similar. It's part way out of the bottle, and it's enormously important, and it's going to be done by somebody. So we may wish we'd never seen that genie, or it may do wonderful things. And I'm certainly not the person that can evaluate that. And I probably wouldn't have been the person that could have evaluated it during World War II, whether we tested a 20,000-ton bomb that we felt was absolutely necessary for the United States and would actually save lives in the long run, but where we also had Edmund Teller, I think it was on a parallel with Einstein in terms of saying you may, with this test, ignite the atmosphere in such a way that civilization doesn't continue. And we decided to let the genie out of the bottle, and it accomplished the immediate objective, but whether it's going to change the future of society, we will find out later. Now, AI, I had one experience that does make me a little nervous, and I'll just explain it. That very recently, fairly recently, I saw an image in front of my eyes on the screen, and it was me, and it was my voice, and wearing the kind of clothes I wear, and my wife or my daughter wouldn't have been able to detect any difference, and it was delivering a message that no way came from me. So when you think of the potential for scamming people, if you can reproduce images that I can't even tell, that say, I need money, it's your daughter, I've just had a car crash, I need $50,000 wired. I mean, scamming has always been part of the American scene. But this would make me, if I was interested in investing in scamming, it's going to be the growth industry of all time, and it's enabled in a way. Obviously AI has potential for good things too, but I don't know how based on the one I saw recently, I practically would send money to myself over in some crazy country. I don't have any advice on how the world handles it, because I don't think we know how to handle what we did with the nuclear genie. But I do think, as someone who doesn't understand a damn thing about it, that it has enormous potential for good and enormous potential for harm, and I just don't know how that plays out.
Good afternoon. My name is Caroline, and I'm a lawyer in San Diego.
I'm
please
already
don't
in
hold
trouble.
that against me. Remember, Mr. Munger was once an attorney too.
Right.
First, I'd like to sincerely thank you, Mr. Buffett, for your business integrity, tireless leadership, and generous contribution to philanthropy. My question for the distinguished panel of two is, now that the AI genie is out of the bottle, as someone astutely put it earlier today, what business in Berkshire Hathaway may be most at risk with AI?
Well, that's a wonderful question. The The problem is I really don't know anything about AI, but obviously, anything that's labor intensive and that it can create an enormous amount of leisure time. Now, what the world does with leisure time is another question. Whether more leisure time, I know an awful lot of people think when they go to work at first that what they want is leisure time, and what I like is actually having more problems to solve. But AI is profound. I mean, that's what makes it a genie. Is what can happen. I could tell a few genie jokes, but I better not.
I guess, Warren, we probably
I don't know what, in terms of our businesses, they'll figure things out. I mean, we've got smart people, and it's obviously, if it's used in a pro-social way, it's got terrific benefits to society. But I don't know how you make sure that that's what happens any more than I know how to be sure that when you use two atomic bombs in World War II, that you knew that you hadn't created something that could destroy the world later on.
Yeah, I think when we think of AI at a lot of the business units, I mean, we're truly, Warren, trying to think, how does it make us more efficient, more effective? I mean, it results in more idle time, and we're probably not thinking of the iterative AI where we're looking at very specific processes where our people can implement it, and either at times it displaces the labor, but then hopefully there's other opportunities for them within the business. But I think, when you think of all our businesses, I mean, we do have a heavy labor workforce in a lot of them, but I think at the stage we're at as a company and maybe where it's at right now, it's really around how do we do things more effective, more efficiently, more safely if it involves dangerous processes. So we're early innings.
John Maynard Keynes was just wonderful to read, and incredible mind. But in around the time I was born, he wrote a book about what could happen. I don't know whether it was in the next 100 years or whatever, and he predicted correctly that output per capita would grow at this incredible rate that it has. But in terms of speculating as what people would do with that, I mean, this guy was unbelievably smart. But it hasn't developed exactly the way he predicted. He was right about what was going to go into the equation, but he didn't have it figured out exactly what would be the result. So it is really, well, we didn't know when we were developing the bomb that there would probably be, very soon, 9 countries, 3 of whom we should worry about plenty that will have what they have, but we didn't really have any choice. And you could have had all kinds of papers written on it and everything else, but we were going to do it anyway. We needed to do it. And if you haven't read it, it's fascinating to go to Google and read the letter by Leo Szilard and Albert Einstein to President Roosevelt, written about a month before, almost exactly a month before Germany or Hitler moved into Poland. And it laid out, well, Leo Szilard knew what was going to happen, or had a good hunch of what was going to happen in terms of nuclear bomb development, and he couldn't get through to Roosevelt, but he knew that a letter signed by Albert Einstein would. So it's probably the most important letter ever written, and you can read it, which is just fascinating to me. But that started the Manhattan Project. That started, it just, everything flowed out of it. And like, I'll bet anything that Roosevelt didn't understand it, but he understood that Albert Einstein just sent a letter, and he probably knew what he was talking about, and he better start the Manhattan Project. It's just unbelievable what happens in this world. Anyway, let's move on.